Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Oh yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how you can get depth of field onto your action camera like I'm using right now. See this? It's blurry in the back. I'm going to show you how this is done, so let's go. Okay, so what do all action cameras have in common? They're all small, very compact, they are very good stabilizers, they have a crappy sensor, but that's a whole other topic, and they have everything in focus. So you'll not have a blurred background if you use an action camera. Now, as much as that is convenient for action type shots where you just mount the camera on a helmet, on a car, on a motorbike, and you know everything will be in focus, for these types of videos, for vlogging, we've gotten so used to having a blurry background. So in this trick, you can actually do this now on any action camera. I'm doing it on the Osmo Action. Two sheep down there. Yes, sheep can climb heavily. Better than me, I think. So this is actually what I came to see here today, and I've hiked for about an hour and to get some amazing drone shots, although it's middle of the day. But now you've probably noticed there is a Davinci Resolve logo on the thumbnail you just clicked for this video. Now the reason for that is because you will need Davinci Resolve 18 Studio version to actually get this effect. And don't click off right now, because I'm going to try and persuade you to actually get Davinci Resolve instead of anything else, because I don't think any other software has this ability. And you need the Studio version because you need the neural network AI from Davinci Resolve to actually make this work. There is like the biggest locust I've ever seen. It's about this big and it's hiding here, so I'll just best let it be. Compared to other editing software, Davinci Resolve Studio is a one-time payment. If you have, for instance, Premiere Pro, which I tried in the beginning, you have a monthly subscription, and in the long run you're actually paying more than the $299 that you pay for Davinci Resolve Studio. And Davinci Resolve Studio really uses the graphics card, especially if you have the NVIDIA RTX with those tensor cores, which I'm not even going to pretend to know what they are, but the software really uses those cores in order to do all of these AI calculations, like this for instance. And this effect is called the depth map, and I'm going to show you how you can use it to create a blurry background and have the subject in focus, or vice versa. Now the really interesting thing about this effect is that Davinci Resolve actually figures out which elements are in the foreground and which elements are in the background, and it actually creates like an alpha or a transparency map going from white to black. So everything that is white is going to have whatever effect you put on it, and everything that's black has zero effect, and then you have a nice gradient. But the way this effect works is it actually figures out which things are in front and which things are further away. So you can blur the background, you can add the blur effect to the background and keep the foreground nice and sharp. So these are the drops of Baška, and that's located on the island of Krk, so KRK, and that's in our neighboring country, Croatia. Yeah, we come here a lot because they have a wonderful coastline. So these are some sort of glassy elements. I did not do my homework, so I have no idea what this is. But it's very interesting. They're just basically pieces of glass. So now in order to properly show you how this works, I need to get down from here and behind a computer. And my battery on the Osmo Action is going to die, so I'm completely unprepared, as always. Here we are back at the hotel, and let's bring the depth of field effect onto our action camera video footage. Now, I was using the Osmo Action, but it doesn't really matter which action camera you use because they all have zero depth of field, or like infinite depth of field where everything is in focus. So it could be a GoPro, it could be a 3 Insta60, or just an action camera from DJI. So here we are in Davinci Resolve 18 Studio, and I've already put one of the clips from the Osmo Action from earlier today onto a timeline. Now this effect can be added in the colors tab or in the colors page. If you guys don't know how Davinci Resolve works, I do suggest watching some of the tutorials, and I will also do a video about Davinci Resolve and how I edit and how I color grade, just to kind of give you a head start. So we go into the colors page. This is where we do all of the color grades, and we select this one video that we have. I'm just going to close this down, and we have one node. So we add effects onto nodes. Nodes are like layers, but they are just nodes connected one after the other. So currently there is nothing added. So first of all, I am going to just balance this out. I just have to do this. It's not necessary, but just lift up the shadows, tone down the highlights just to make it a little bit more kind of HDR. And then in order to add the depth of field effect, we need to add a couple of more nodes. So let's start by first adding a new node. So Alt S to add a new node. I'm going to push it over here. And this is where the blurry effect is going to be. Now I'm going to do this in this section of the color grading panel, and I'm just going to push this up to 60. Now if I go to full screen, you will see before and after. You can see that now everything is blurry and there is no separation from what's in front of the camera to what's behind of the camera. So for that, we need to add a special node that is only available in DaVinci Resolve 18 Studio. We go into the Effects tab over here and we type in the depth map. So depth map is the effect. I'm going to bring this in right here onto this line. And now you can see that the image has changed. So you can see that the elements in the front or closer to the camera are wider and the elements in the back are a little bit darker or just pretty much dark. Now I'm just going to switch this to faster in order to make it work a little bit easier. And you can see here, so this is me talking and DaVinci Resolve is intelligently figuring out what's closer to the camera and what's further away. So this is where the AI technology is needed. So what the depth map node does, it basically creates an alpha layer. So the alpha means that whatever is white is going to get an effect and whatever is black is getting zero effect. So basically like a transparency map or an alpha map. And now, of course, everything is inverted. So all the effect is going to be added to the white areas and none of it is going to be added to the dark areas, which means that I need to invert this. So the background is now white and I am black. And in order for this node where we added the blur to actually get this alpha map, we need to connect the alpha lines. So the upper one controls the brightness, the saturation, the colors, and the bottom line controls the alpha or the transparency. So if I turn the depth map preview off, now only the alpha information from this node is being transferred to the next one. And you can see that the background is now blurry. If I deactivate the blurry and add the blurry, you can see it's blurry. Even the rocks here are getting blurrier. So if I play the video back, this is actually live preview, so there is no pre-rendering, so you can see that everything is working really nice. Of course, I've set the depth map function to faster and not to better. So this would be slowing it down a little bit. It actually starts to slow down, but it's going to be more precise. I find that faster is good enough for videos like this. But we can also fine-tune the separation from the elements in the front and the elements in the back. So if I turn the depth map preview on and I just use the sliders over here, you can play with the sliders and figure out what they do. But this one basically moves the focal plane. Now it's in the back and now it's in the front, as you can see. And if I push it just a little bit more like this, so my hand, which is in the front here, is already getting the effect, and this is getting the effect, but I'm pretty much in the dark. So this is going to be a much more clean separation of the subject and the background. Now I do need to stress out that do not push the blurry background too far, because remember, this is a wide angle shot and wide angle cameras typically don't have a very shallow depth of field. So if I was to push the blur effect all the way, let's say to 0.8, it's going to start to look like one of those webcam conferences that you have there where you can add the blurry background. So you can see it really just doesn't look, it really looks fake, and you have some artifacting over here, which you can of course fine tune with the sliders, or even if you use the better function, it's going to do a better job. So I find that 0.6 on the action camera on the blurry side is just enough separation to actually give you that kind of more cinematic look. And there you go. I will leave you with this video if you guys want to stay on the channel and enjoy the content a little bit more. Also consider subscribing, hit the like button, and if you have any comments or questions, leave that down in the comment section, where I would love to start a debate with any of you guys. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.